What is good, YouTube? It's your boy 50K Clay. I am Clay Will, and we are back tapped in with yet another video, man. And before we get into the topic ahead of us, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. We are so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, so if y'all could help me reach that goal, I would really appreciate it, man. So now, let's get into the topic at hand, man. Firstly, I've been seeing a lot of comments circling around on some recent Kanye West videos, basically saying, man, he's out of it. He's in a sunken place. What happened to Kanye? This, that, and the third. And I really wanted to take a step back and really kind of analyze this a little bit more because I think it's a lot deeper than, oh man, he's just so depressed. His mind is gone. He's just completely out of the game. And reality is also having to do with some mental health matters. And I think that's a really big topic when it comes to talking about Kanye West because, as we know, he's struggled with bipolar disorder among various other things. Being bipolar is something that's really relevant to understanding Kanye West and his history, and especially his latest kind of escapades as of late. So obviously everybody knows about the tirade he went on Twitter. Just went off on everybody, being mad at the Jews, being mad at Beyonce, just venting his frustrations on social media and stuff like that, which caused him a lot of backlash and also caused him to lose all of his endorsement deals, including forfeiting his deal with Adidas. It also caused him to take a significant hit in his net worth. While he's still way super up, he's not the same billionaire status that he was once on, and all can be traced back to his bipolar disorder. So when I see a lot of people kind of asking questions about Kanye or saying that he's out of it, he's mentally despondent or something like that, if you take a step back, you can really see the bigger picture for what it is. Now, as I said, he's kind of struggled with bipolar disorder. So as somebody who has a family member that struggles with the same kind of affliction, I can look at Kanye right now and see where he's at. And I'm happy for Kanye because although these videos seem out of character, it's also showing me that he has enough of a good circle around him to get him medicated, to get him some of the proper help that he needs in the form of probably some medication and stuff like that. So that just shows me a lot of the time he would surround himself with yes men. He would surround himself with people that are sycophants and that would go along with everything he said and not ask any questions. Now, I believe that after his Twitter escapades and after the falling out of all his deals and losing family members and stuff like that, which a lot of this can also be traced back to. A lot of people feel like he lost a piece of himself when he lost his mom. So we can see kind of some of the falling out of that. And he said in an interview, well, on a stream, that ever since the loss of his mother, he's kind of been searching for that kind of familial relationships and that family values. I'll insert the clip right here. Seeing him be surrounded around people like his new wife Bianca, who is gonna incentivize him and push him to go get the mental help that he needs. It's really inspiring. I think we can look at this and see this is somebody who's struggled with mental health before, and now he's getting the proper help for it. And this is kind of like the result of that. You know, he's not as ramped up anymore. He's not as brash and arrogant as he was before. This is somebody I like to call Kanye. He's more chill. So I think this is a result of him getting on the necessary bipolar medication that he needs. And while a lot of people will say, man, I miss the old Kanye when he was doing this and he was spazzing, he was much more entertaining. And I look at it and say, you know, this is a person too. I know we are entertained by these celebrities' lives and they're funny and, you know, they make us laugh sometimes. But, you know, this is a real person that was actually struggling with something in real life, in real time. You know, he's just as human as you or I. So we have to remember that their lives aren't our entertainment. You know, he makes good art and he makes things for us to consume that can be used for our entertainment. But his whole life doesn't have to be centered around being an entertainer or being a life of the party or what have you and stuff like that. So when he just like my family member, just like my relative, when he gets on these bipolar medicines, it essentially slows them down. It allows them to relax a little bit more and not be as liable to be ramped up. He's a lot more calm and he's a lot more deliberate with what he says now. While a lot of people will say, "Oh man, he was a genius before" and stuff like that, ultimately his life is not our entertainment. I'm glad to see him taking the proper steps necessary to address his mental health. I've also seen photos of him reuniting with his family again. Um, and they're all collaborating and people are coming together to celebrate his birthday party and celebrate Christmas and stuff like that. So these are all positive signs. As somebody with bipolar disorder and the type of things that he was doing and the type of things that he was saying on the internet, that isn't necessarily somebody that you will want around your kids. And I know a lot of people might have a lot to say about Kim Kardashian, but as a mother and as a parent, she's 100% right to be of that mindset. Somebody spazzing in the news, spazzing in the media, consistently raging out and lashing out at people. That is not the type of role model that you want around your kids. So for him to recognize how important his family was, and even if he's not gonna have the same relationship with Kim, at least taking time to better himself so he can rebuild his relationship with his family, with his kids. And a lot of people are going to say, well, he was a genius in the past and stuff like that. I hope his creativity doesn't go away. We can still see him working on albums. Lately, I saw him. He was going to like a fashion exhibit and stuff like that with Gosha. Um, People were surrounding him and stuff like that, and he was still able to enjoy the clothes and not be ramped up and just simply walk among people without having the need to put on some type of performance or some type of elaborate act. You know what I'm saying? So that's good to see as well. He's also still dropping clothes on his site as well. So the creativity hasn't been stopped because of his mental health and stuff like that. He's still equally as productive. He's still equally as creative. And I know for him, that was something that he was big on. I watched this compilation documentary called 500 Days in LA, and he was consistently voicing that, man, they were trying to medicate me and this, that, and the third. And my mental health is my superpower and stuff like that.
Hey, I am not bipolar. I'm not in some kind of episode, but I may be slightly autistic, like Rain Man. And that's part of my superpower. That's the reason why I can produce tracks and design and do so many things.
But so I'm glad to see now that he's taking a step back and he's taking some advice from the people that care about him and the people that love him. He can recognize now that bipolarism is kind of a crutch. It prohibits you from getting out your same voice. It prohibits you from reaching the same amount of people because you might spaz on somebody and you might spaz on the internet. You might hurt somebody's feelings. You know what I'm saying? People that really love and appreciate your art. So you can still have the same impact on fashion and in creativity without having to worry about the side effects of these bipolar medications. If you're truly a creative person, I would take inspiration from this, especially if you're struggling with mental health and stuff like that. I would take this as a sign like, all right, I can do it too. If Kanye is somebody who is one of the most creative people in the world, and he can get on medication and still be just as equally creative, then I can still do it too without having to worry about how it's going to limit my art. If anybody's seen the documentary In Whose Name, which is a documentary filmed by this dude named Milo, who was essentially following Kanye around for a number of years, you will see how he was spazzing on his friends and his family and his loved ones. And you can see really how much the mental stress and his bipolarism had an effect on his relationships. So to see that he's addressing it and that he's getting the necessary work done to become a better person and to take matters in his own hands and take accountability, that's super dope to see. And like I said, their lives are not our entertainment. So he doesn't have to be some kind of narcissist or egomaniac to still be talented or creative. And we should all take a step back and really appreciate that, man. So I appreciate y'all. If y'all watched to the end of the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It's been your boy 50K Clay. Let me know what kind of topics that y'all want to see next. And also be sure to make sure y'all subscribe as well. A lot of people that watch these videos are kind of just coming in, passing by. But make sure y'all subscribe, man, because I got a lot more content like this coming on the way soon. Make sure y'all check out my previous videos as well. But like I said, man, it's your boy 50K Clay. Thank y'all for watching again. I'm out.